Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. Boy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Casey Fell, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes. Here to give you my honest take about tonight's AEWDynamite. Oh my goodness. We have been on Tony Khan's helmet about keeping us interested in your program. Wrestling alone is not what does it. It is the freaking storytelling that gets us invested. There have been so many people in the IWC, like I name them all the time. They destroy Tony Khan not because he doesn't know what he's doing. They destroy him because he has absolutely no idea when it comes to booking stories. But for the last couple of weeks, Tony Khan has been in his bag when it comes to storytelling. This episode was very story heavy driven. The wrestling was decent, some decent things on this show. I got a couple of gripes about tonight's episode, and I'll talk about them, but for the most part, I enjoyed tonight's episode. I am so ready for the next episode. I am invested. They got me invested. That is the name of the game. If you keep cats invested, we will continue to tune in to watch. That's all we've been asking. So many of us. That's it. We've been going hard in the paint, telling Tony Khan, give us story. Oh, and tonight, you got an opportunity to understand who this Vikingo cat was. I told Tony Khan immediately, sign this young man. Don't let this young man go. Sign him. This young man and Kenny Omega gave us a classic on free television. Whether you like Kenny Omega's style or not, whether you like this young man's style or not, they gave us a classic on free TV. That crowd out there in Kansas City, Missouri was insane to the membrane. I watched that match, y'all. I said, man, oh my goodness, man. Listen, storytelling, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and congratulations to Tony Khan and the AEW and New Japan Wrestling, the Ring of Honor, and whoever else going to have some type of tie to this. Canada, Toronto has sold out. They sold out. There is not even a card set for Forbidden Door. We 3 months away from Forbidden Door, and that card already sold. I mean, the pay-per-view is already sold out. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. For people who've been praying for the downfall of this company, you might as well stop praying. What you need to do is you need to pray that they continue to grow in the ratings. You pray that they continue to stay healthy, and you pray that they continue to get better with telling stories. That's what you want to do instead of praying for their downfall, because that's not going. I don't get it. Look, they ain't the AEW. Look again. There's still plenty of improvements, and I'm gonna talk about the things that I wasn't feeling tonight. But you listen, being a wrestling fan, you want good competition. You want the E to do great. You want AEW to do great, and that's when you know both companies are doing well. Heck, all the companies, Impact, New Japan, all the other independent stuff, whatever you name it. If you like it, you want everybody doing great. That's when you know wrestling is in its bag. And what we got tonight, I'm like, listen, this is why I'm a fan of AEW. What I seen tonight, outside of the stupid stuff that I saw tonight, I absolutely enjoyed watching this product. I am a fan of AEW. I never hold back about being a fan of AEW. Some people call me an AEW shield on the low. They may not say it, in front of me, but I tell them all the time. I say I prefer AEW over WWE because they get me to feel like a young me. Not all the time. Meanwhile, WWE, on the other hand, they pick and choose when they want to do something great. Look, we want good wrestling. We want good storytelling. Storytelling is what carries wrestling, not just the wrestling itself. And what we got tonight, hey, speaking of what we got tonight, let's go ahead. Now, before the show even got started, we got Hangman and the Young Bucks heading to the doggone ambulance, heading to the hospital, because they were attacked, and now people trying to figure out who attacked them. And meanwhile, Hangman was like, he was hesitant before he hopped up in the doggone ambulance truck. And Kenny Omega and Don Callis was like, look, man, he wanted to go, but he said, no, bro, you forgot. You going against Vikingo tonight. You can't worry about them. You might as well just let Hangman and the Bucks do what they need to do. You worry about that. Hooking us, getting us. For my main guy, Mr. BC Amplifier, who be talking about storytelling with AEW. I hope what you witnessed, if you watched the show tonight, got you. That's how you get people synced in. You don't want to just jump right into a match. You want to open up with some type of storytelling. And the whole point of who jumped the Bucks, that's what's going through everybody's mind right now. Who jumped the Bucks? Who beat the brakes off of the Young Bucks? Listen. We're going to get to Don Callis, or a.k.a. Don the Clown, because that man is very devious. And he got a full hand in what's going on because he wants to keep Kenny away from joining Hangman and the Bucks. Hangman and the Bucks are back together again. It's Kenny and Hangman that he does not want to reunite. There's something going on, and we're going to discuss that once we get to the main event. But that's what we kicked off. We kicked off with that, and I say storytelling is the key. You don't want to open up with a match, because I was thinking of saying, watch, Tony Khan go mess around and open up with a match. That's what I was saying. He said, no, y'all been on my case. Y'all been on my helmet. You've been telling me not to open up with a match because it's not the game. Don't just open up with a match. You had to link us with, hook us with some type of storyline before you jump right into a match. That was the name of the game, and that's what he did with this situation. And everybody was sitting up there. This was going through everybody's mind. Who jumped the Bucks? That's what everybody was thinking. Who jumped them? Like, great start to a great show. All right, so let's go ahead. We open up with a trios match. Darby Allin, OC Sting taking on Kip Sabian, Butcher, and the Blade with Blade's wife and Penelope Ford in a corner. This is an okay match. This was all about the return of Sting. Sting has been out of action for a long time. This is the end of Sting. Sting's final year. I believe he's going to retire at Winter is Coming. He came to Winter is Coming 3 years ago. He's going to retire at Winter is Coming. So obviously what they're doing with Sting, they're getting him prepared. We don't know what's going to take place come December. But it was just good to see Sting back. This is a cool, crazy clown match, entertaining match. OC had to have the lazy face paint on just like the rest of them. Butcher and Blade, they shined the most out of this match. This was about Butcher and Blade because a lot of people have been actually wanting them to actually be presented as a decent tag team, be pushed right. That's what everybody been asking. They want them to be pushed right. Now, I know he's not been on TV. I know he hasn't. He has not been on television. But I do want Miro to return. I want him to return, and I want him to deal with Kip Sabian. I want him to deal with him so that we can get something going with them, because obviously that's all they've been doing. They just been throwing them together, and we really have nothing going on. So Sting, they basically tried to beat the brakes off of Sting, but you know how Sting get down. You already know. And Mr. Darby Allin. I mean, what else you expect in the Darby Allin match? You know, OC Darby out here doing what they got to do. Kip Sabian thinking he running things, you know, but so Sting, Darby, OC, they get the victory. So once the match was finished, you saw Darby looking up at the Double or Nothing sign. Obviously, you know what that's about, because he's paying homage to what took place last week. He wants a shot against MJF. He wants that shot. MJF ain't giving him nothing. And I like that. So then as soon as the segment was finished, they gave us a recap of what took place with the four of them going at it, with MJF going in the cake. Now, it was an audio situation. That's another thing. Tony Khan and them got to figure out how to get that truck audio to go, because we saw MJF running his mouth, but you didn't hear anything. And obviously he was ticked off by having to go flying in his cake and everything. And obviously, again, they started playing back the promos from all three of them. MJF basically said, the Friday, you three clowns talk about y'all want a shot at me. Look, y'all ain't getting nothing. Look, just rack up a couple of wins, do what you got to do, become number one contender, and maybe I'll think about it. So as of right now, all of them basically said, look, we already number one contender. So if we got to just rack up wins, so be it. But here's the deal. I guess they don't want MJF to be the one to tell them, like, okay, here's the following clowns. Because, again, what does everybody say? Tony Khan, don't give us the same exact storyline with MJF. Oh, you gotta fight this clown if you want to fight me. No, just wrestle a whole bunch of other people, continue to stack up wins, be number one contender. Because here's the deal: number one contender is only for number one spot. So now the question is, how the heck are we gonna get 3 number one contenders? Because we got to get to a fatal 4-way, right? So that's the intriguing part. That's the one thing I do like about it. The intriguing part is, how the heck do we get from just one number one contender? Because we got 2 others as well. We got Jungle Boy, Sammy, and Darby. So I like that. I'm cool with that. I ain't got a problem with that. So, and obviously, you know, MJF wasn't gonna be on the show. He got to heal up, because you can see he still look terrible. I mean, the blood veins, blood vessel in his eyes, and all the black eyes, all that crazy stuff. So obviously, you know, he had to revamp himself. You know, so we get this. So they play the video highlight reel of who Vikingo is and why he's going against Kenny Omega. So back in 2021, Kenny and him were supposed to face each other for the AAA World Heavyweight Championship and AAA Mayday, if I'm not mistaken. But Kenny was injured, so the match got postponed. Well, here we are, fast forward today. Now everybody get the opportunity to see who this Vikingo guy is. And boy, did that man make a splash. I can't wait to talk about it when we get there. Now we get this matchup. What took place on Rampage, they called them out. They said they wanted a shot at the tag team titles. Top Flight took on the A-Boys. Now, there was a lot of people that was kind of not feeling this match. Here's the deal. Picture by picture, ladies and gentlemen, this is one gripe, again, that I have against Tony and them. It's the picture in picture, it takes you out of a match. It's like you try to get invested in the match, and the picture in picture just makes it difficult for you to get back into the match, because you're so busy looking at that doggone tiny man's screen. And that's the one thing I'd be hating, because it's like, man, he do it throughout the entire show, and Excalibur get off to it. That man be loving it. He like, oh, we're going to commercial, but stick with us, because picture in picture, don't. I'm like, man, right when you like want to get invested in whatever they doing in the ring, they go right to picture by picture. So for me, I thought this was a solid match. I thought Top Flight looked great. Top Flight, if you want to say Top Flight was carrying them, fine, because they sure were. They were doing work. And Top Flight looked like they was going to win this match. But the Kingdom came out there. Now, I have not been watching Ring of... Now, here's the deal. I just got the app. I just paid for the app. I got the subscription. I'm trying to get caught up on everything. I know that Maria's Boys, which is the Kingdom, they on there, and I think Dante and them is on Ring of Honor. So obviously they got a program going on. Well, Darius and Dante looked like they was finna walk out with those championships, but the Kingdom came out the woodwork and screwed them over, causing a serious distraction, and the Guns were able to retain their championship. So they chased them off and ran them off. So obviously that's going to be the title. That's going to be a tag team match that's going to be on Supercard of Honor on March 31st. So after the match, soon as the match was done, they chased them off. FTR music go off. So FTR get in the ring with them. They said, all right, listen, what do you clowns want? We already we didn't beat you. What do you want? They said, we want a shot at those tag team titles. They said, what make you think we're going to give you a tag team title shot? What honestly make you think so? I mean, we already beat you. They said, look, I mean, what does it take to face you? We want to face you. We want to win those tag team titles. And you seen Austin and Cope just scream and say, whatever you want, we're not going to give it to you. You can ask all you want. We're not going to give you anything. So Cash said, all right, check this out. If we don't win those tag team titles, FTR won't be a tag team anymore. And Austin and Colton said, we're still not going to give you one. So then Cash said, screw this. Dax. Dax said, you know what? All right. If we don't beat you for those tag team titles, we no longer going to be working in AEW. So now we have a title versus career match, which more than likely, I'm assuming, I'm not sure because they didn't say exactly when it's going to take place. I'm assuming that this is going to go all the way to Double or Nothing. That's just my honest opinion. So that means we got 2 months to build off of that. Now, again, the spitting in somebody's face, man, you got to be a tough cookie to let somebody spit in your face. That's the ultimate disrespect. Ultimate. So after they spit in the face, they tried to get a hold of them, but they ran their behinds off and everything. I said, decent segment. We got the story. A lot of people, it's mixed because you got some people saying it's unpredictable, while you got other people say they ain't going nowhere. They gonna win them tag team titles. Anything can happen in that match. They could lose. They can win. We'll find out whenever that time calls for it. So solid segment, solid. Jade Cargill with Layla Gray and Smart Mark Sterling talked about Talia Valkyrie coming through, basically already claiming that she wants to get a shot at that tag team title. I mean, at the TBS championship. So she said, well, if you want a shot, you can't do my move. So obviously Mark Sterling then already wrote up he wrote up a summons. In other words, that if she tries to use that move, it's already banned because the move belongs to Jade. And like I said, this is her show and all this nonsense. Now, I'm not sure exactly when they're doing the match. I don't know. I guess are we doing the match on Rampage? I don't know. I'm not sure. If I'm them, I'm gonna play this thing out. I'm gonna have Talia Valkyrie continue to get wins, and I'm gonna have Jade. I guess I had Jade squash people. I guess if I'm booking the situation, and then like I said, when we get to Double or Nothing, that's when you pull the trigger and have Valkyrie win. That's just me, but that's that. Now we get to the comedy segment. Now let me go ahead and go in on this situation. People have mixed feelings when it comes to concerning Stokely Hathaway, but I'm going to be 1,000% with you, ladies and gentlemen. How many times do I talk about black wrestlers and goofy gimmicks? I talk about how when we get presented on TV, there's a way to do us by acting silly. The Acclaim are silly, but you love them. Stokely Hathaway is a straight up goof to the highest order. But he tries to play this serious, I'm a pro-black man, I'm pro-black, but I'm goofy as possible. That's what his gimmick is, right? This fool, I didn't even pay attention to this, but shout out to Public, they actually picked up the fact that the man was dressed up looking like he was a part of the Nation of Domination. So obviously that this was a squad, and I didn't pay attention that this was a no DQ match. He came out there and he looked scared out of his mind. His crew was watching. The firm was watching him in the back. So he get on the mic as soon as as soon as Hook come out, he gets on the mic and says, I got a doctor's note and apparently I'm not cleared to wrestle and therefore I'm retiring. So I got to get out of here. And then he gave the doggone note to Justin. Justin said, man, this is a doggone receipt from Wingstop. Man, you need to sit on that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about black wrestlers in the buck dancing that takes place over in the WWE land. This, if you're going to present us as clowns or a comedian type of wrestling, this is the type of stuff that we would actually don't have a problem with. Shout out to G Nation. G Nation said something about it. My main man Vic said something about it. The buck dancing, the shucking and jiving, that's the foolishness that takes place over in WWE land. Tony Khan realized, you know what? I got a lot of black wrestlers here, and I know it's a lot of people that's on my helmet that keep talking about how that I don't know how to book black wrestlers and everything. And I'll say, well, look, if there's any form of buck dancing or shucking and jiving, you already know we're going to be the main ones that call this stuff out. But I actually didn't have a problem with Stokely halfway doing the clown goofy stuff. Do it. And Hook beat the snot out of him. Beat him down. He tried. That man tried to go get a chair. He looked like he could barely pick that thing up. I mean, just clown comedy stuff. So then they brought the doggone barricade thing up in there. Hook body slammed him on there. The fans talk about do it again. And as he was finna lay him out, he put him in the submission hold. Match over. And the firm, as you saw, they was watching. You saw Matt Hardy getting into it with Ego. And I don't know where we're going with this, but you know what? I didn't have a problem with it. Real quick squash match, comedy match. You know, people be talking about, got to have your comedy on the show. I didn't have a problem with it. So kudos to the two of them for doing what they had to do. Now, here's the deal. Where do we do moving forward? Because now it's, what do we do next? Because that's what a lot of people are going to be asking concerning Hook and Stokely and the firm. What do we do next? That's what Tony Khan and them going to have to figure out. What do we do next with the firm? What do we do next with Hook? That's all I'm asking about that. But solid, decent match. You know, like I say, it's the clown comedy match. It's a doggone squash match. That's what it was. You know, Stokely don't be wrestling. You know, but it is what it is on that. We come back. They show hip hop legend rapper Tech Nine was in the crowd. Fans was going crazy, and then the main man himself, Mr. Adam Cole Baby, comes to the ring, gets on the mic. Fans are going nuts. He said, "I don't have to say it, but who's ready for a story time with Adam Cole?" Fans are going crazy. They going ballistic. They going nuts, and he talks about how he's so ecstatic to get ready to be back in the ring. He talked about the doggo. He can't wait for people to see the reality TV show that's premiering next week. But he said, I'm here because I actually literally thought that I wasn't going to be able to do this again. But I can't wait to get back in the ring and do what I do best. And as soon as he continued on, DG came out there looking like he was a part of some kind of pop/R&B group with the doggone slick clothes, black clothes with doggone sunglasses and everything. So he got in the ring. I said, so Adam Cole's first matchup is DG, Daniel Garcia. I said, wait, look here. Daniel is an excellent pro wrestler. Adam Cole's a great pro wrestler. I think what Tony is doing, he's starting him low so he can work his way up to where we want him to be. I told you, I personally think that Adam Cole's babyface run could be legendary. Because look, everybody liked his heel work over in NXT. But I didn't never really think about him potentially being a babyface. I'm like, you know what? I'm on this bandwagon. I'm ready to see it. And I'm looking forward to this. I pray that my man stay healthy along the way. Because when you're dealing with head trauma, concussions, you already know. You can't mess around with that. You cannot mess around with that. But he got in there. He started going toe-to-toe with that man. He started talking smack. He started running off and all of this foolishness, right? Talking about he beat cats like Brody King, which he shouldn't have. He beat Ricky Starks. He even beat Bryan Danielson. And he said, I'm willing to beat the brakes off you. Now, he kind of slipped up. He said, and I want to show the world. Well, he said, I'm continually showing the world why I am the best pro wrestler. And everybody in the audience is like, no, sports entertainment. He purposely did that. He slipped up. Because, see, now we're going back to the whole situation about him being grounded in the JAS society with the other circus clown. We already know DG should be a serious pro wrestler, but he's been brainwashed, if you want to say, by Jericho and company. So Adam Cole said, well, you want me to be the first guy to beat the brakes off of you? Fine. If so be it. Next week is Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole. And I'm going to showcase why, I'm back to once again get back to where I need to be. The promo segment between the two I thought was great. I thought it was spot on. I'm like, we got the story. They just not fighting each other because what was the whole point? What do they always say? Oh, Tony Khan just put clowns together. They have no story. Ladies and gentlemen, you got your story right there. You got a dude who is he's a cosplay wrestler slash sports entertainer, because that's exactly what DG is. He's cosplay. Meanwhile, you got a man who is trying to make his way back into where he used to be before he got seriously injured. We off to the fences, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait. I believe the match is going to slap. Looking forward to it. So I thought the segment was great. So, as soon as that segment situation got done, we had Alex Marvez knocking on Kenny Omega's door, and you see him and Don talking, and Kenny, he talking like, man, I need to be at the hospital. He said, no, bro, you supposed to be focusing on your match. And he said, you know what, man, I think it was actually a good thing that the Young Bucks got beat. And Kenny looked at him and said, excuse me, what did you just say? Ladies and gentlemen, Don the Clown / Don Callis is the mastermind but why the Young Bucks got beat. As another question. Right now, the number one suspects as of right now are the BCC. They are the number one suspects. It could be somebody totally different that we're not even thinking about. A certain somebody who got caught up with them in a doggone scripted brawl. Shout out to King Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, we off to the fences, man. I say Tony Khan, what has he been doing? He's been tying story together. Story and wrestling go hand in hand. I say, all right. He said, we getting ready for the main event tonight. You getting ready to go against that boy King Vikingo. Now, this matchup, Stu Grayson, welcome back. I wanted my mans to win so bad. I wanted him to win. Him and Moxley, they tore it up tonight. They thought they did a great job tonight. The BCC was right there. Dark Order was right there. Stu Grayson thinking he gonna get a victory, easy win. Nope. Moxley and the crew cheated again. They cheated again. And he messed my mans up. And I mean, I want Stu to win so bad, ladies and gentlemen. I've been rooting for this young man for a long time. Ever since he came back, I've been wanting to win. But obviously Tony Khan didn't want that because we keeping the story going. We got the BCC. So check this out. The BCC is dealing with the Elite and they beefing with the Dark Order at the same exact time. So, hey, I don't have a problem with that. Now, here's the deal. A lot of people was wondering where the heck was the Trios champs. I agree, because I know somebody gonna bring that up. Shouldn't the Trios champs should have made like a promo or something about what they gonna do? I would actually, this is what I would have done. I would have had them in the back talking with Brody King. Like, how the heck did you lose to BC? You a champion. You a Trios champion. What the heck is you doing losing to that doggone clown right there? I would have been talking to him. And I would say, you know what, man, I messed up. I got off my square. I let that little punk get the best of me. You know, we actually entrusted you. The only one that was out there was Julia. But the rest of us, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, we was chilling. We actually believed that you could go out there and handle the business. Obviously, you didn't. But you know what? Hey, we'll revamp. We'll be back next week. Boom. I mean, I would have did something like that. You know, get people to like, okay, where they at? You know what I'm saying? But even though DG did bring up the fact that he beat that man, which, like I said, he had no business beating him. But that's just me. That's what I would have done. Yeah, like I said, Moxley wins. You know, they trying to keep the BC, and then, like I said, after that, they jumped them, and then the Dark Order got up in there. You already know. So, Absolute Ricky Starks is talking. And he said, listen, I know a lot of fans don't really care about me being, obviously he's going based off of what the fans said, because the fans don't want him being nowhere near this. They feel Ricky Starks should be somewhere elevated to something else. Why the heck are we going backwards dealing with this fool named Juice? I'm like, look, listen, I'm tired of it. He said, this fool, he said, I should have been somewhere on vacation chilling. But this clown keep calling me out, keep attacking me from behind. I'm like, listen, man, look, I'm going to be on Rampage. And I'm issuing an open challenge. I want your behind to show up if you really got the guts. So, Tony Khan, if I'm you, I'm going to have Ricky pull up. I'm going to have him in the wrestling gear, but I'm going to have him come out there on the mic. Start up with the story, because it's about the story. That's what everybody wants. You don't want to open up with a wrestling match. We're going to get the rest of the match, but I will have him come out there, and I will say, I'm calling you out, Juice. Where are you at? You've been running around attacking me from behind thinking that's some kind of cool stuff. That's some punk crap. Get your behind out here so we can finish this once and for all. Get this mess over with. call them out, get on the mic, boom. Then you can go into the match or whatever they plan on doing. That's what I would do on Rampage. That's just me. Because, again, I like the fact that we tied Rampage together with Dynamite, just like they showcased what happened on on Rampage that transpired over on Dynamite. I said that's what you want. Tying the shows together. A lot of people say Rampage don't matter. And speaking of which, Rampage is going to be on Saturday night due to the basketball stuff. So, like I said, cool. I don't have a problem with that. Fine. Then we get a QTV segment. Like I said, this stuff is just straight TMZ. So they showed footage of Powerhouse Hobbs beating the brakes off of Ray Phoenix. Now I did not pay no attention. So QT was going back and forth with that buck dancer. Y'all know him, Alfred Kanua. Over here. Listen, look, this fool loved cheese. Apparently the WWE pay him. See, look at that. They pay this fool in cheese. And he's a hardcore WWE shield, but they pay this clown in cheese. To me, that's some serious buck dancer stuff. That's a form of butter biscuits right there. If people know what the term butter biscuits is, if you don't, look it up. This fool gets paid in cheese, so I did not pay attention to QT Marshall. QT Marshall had a legit plated cheese sitting right next to him. That was the direct shot of that fool, Alfred Kanua. So they talked about the footage of him beating the snot out of Ray Phoenix. Then they said, who is this clown, Alex Abrahantes? Who he think he is and all this stuff. Ain't me. And then Aaron Solo and the other guy was basically talking about what they did to Warlow's car and all this. So they still talking about them breaking into his car. But the two of them was sitting up there with some breath spray spraying each other in the mouth and all this stuff. And I forgot the young lady's name who was with them. She talked about who she said something about Ray Phoenix or something like this. So then QT say that this coming Friday, this coming Saturday on Rampage, Will Hobbs will open up another open challenge. Obviously, you know who it's going to be. Penta El Zero. I say tying Dynamite together with Rampage. The TNT title being defended on Rampage. Rampage matters. That's what we ask for. Rampage must become important. Rampage, in my honest opinion, must be live. If you want people to care, they did that with this QT segment. QTV is trying to tie Rampage and Dynamite together. Tony Khan wants Rampage to be important because there's a lot of people that don't care nothing about Rampage. A lot. But I said, boom. And so as soon as they let you know he going against Penta El Zero, that match is going to slap. I can't wait. Him versus Ray Phoenix was great. Penta versus him going to be great next on Saturday. Then we get this matchup. I wanted my girl to win so bad. Sky Blue this girl has improved so much, ladies and gentlemen. She has improved. Her and Tony went out there and did a banger. And the doggone picture by picture, kills everything. You got Ruby and Saraya clowning, talk about this is our house and cheating and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, man, I needed Sky Blue to get an upset victory. I want my girl to start winning. They treating her like a doggone jobber. I don't like that. I don't like that they treat my girl like a jobber. I get it. The heels are dominant. The heels are supposed to dominate. But you could at least let Sky Blue get an upset victory so we can keep this thing going. No. Sky Blue did everything. She was working. Her and Tony have great chemistry. They have great chemistry. They work well together. I just wanted Sky Blue to get the victory. I need my girl to start winning. She needs to get reasonable win. If we want the AEW original girls to feel like they belong with the Outcasts, they gonna have to start getting reasonable wins on TV. And I'm not talking about Dark. I ain't talking about Dark. I'm talking about on Rampage and I'm talking about on Dynamite. All of them. Willow, Rio, and Sky. They need to get reasonable wins. And if you notice, the main two weren't even out there. Tony Storm and Britt Baker feel like these girls are supposed to be with us. They don't even really matter. They don't even treat them as, they don't even listen. They supposed to be on their team, and they don't even respect them. So yeah, I'm jumping the gun. So Sky Blue lose, Tony wins. They cheated. So the three of them started beating the snot out of Sky. I mean, they was tearing Sky up. Then Rio's music goes off. Her and Willow come out there. She got that doggone pipe like she ready to bust somebody in the head with that thing. And they run off. Willow go to check on Sky. You got Rio looking. I mean, Rio looked like she is on soldier mode. Like her whole countenance has changed. She's not that happy-go-lucky looking girl that you always see wearing the pink outfit all the time or the white. That girl looked like she was ready to bust somebody in the head for real. I said, go Rio. That's my girl. Rio's the one. People be hating on that woman. I don't give a care. Rio is the one. And people be hating on Willow too. I don't give a care. You can hate on Willow. You can hate on Rio. Heck, you can even hate on Sky. I love all three of them women. I don't give a care what nobody got to say. These three girls are going somewhere. They are the freaking future of AEW, and I don't care what nobody got to say of the freaking women's division. But now it's going to take Britt and Jamie to finally realize that these three girls are going to be rolling with you. Whether you want these girls to roll with you or not. They got one common enemy, and a common enemy is Saraya, Tony, and Ruby. Now the question you have to ask yourself again, who's going to join the Outcasts? That's the biggest question moving forward. The biggest question moving forward when it comes to the women's situation. Who's joining the Outcasts? That is all I'm going to say about that. Matchup, great match. Picture by picture kills everything. And I want a Sky Blue to win. Talked about that. Hyped up next week's show. Main event, ladies and gentlemen. El Hijo del Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. My man comes out there. Crowd goes nuts. Kenny Omega gets introduced by the man himself. Justin Roberts does a fantastic job introducing Kenny. When you hear he goes down the list from North Carolina, he does what he needs to do. Listen, man, it's so crazy. The fans was on their feet. The moment these two locked up, and then you had Don the Clown ringside. And I'm like, Don is ringside for a reason. The moment these two linked up, man, Vikingo started doing some crazy stuff. I said, wow, crowd so invested. So freaking invested. I said, man, this is what we talking about. People was crying about, oh, there's no story. Everybody online clowning, getting on TK, and oh, he should have hyped up there. Listen, he did it throughout the show. The Cats tore the house down. I told Tony Khan personally, you better sign this young man, get him on a contract immediately. Vikingo is the man. He's the man. And then you get in there with the man himself, Kenny Omega. They gave us a 50 trillion. I don't even get carried away with the rating of the stars. They gave us a 50 trillion star match, man. These boys tore each other up, flipping each other over on their head, smashing each other. I mean, just throwing each other out. Listen, man, if you name it, these cats was out there doing it. Vikingo had this match won multiple times. Kenny looked like he was struggling. I said Kenny made Vikingo look like the man. Vikingo made Kenny look like the man as well. This is wrestling. We got it on free. This was a free televised match. The fact that this was supposed to be a pay-per-view match because it was supposed to take place at AAA Mania 29, if I'm not mistaken. This is supposed to take place on pay-per-view, but Tony Khan gave it to us for free. Look, if you ain't a fan of this, heaven help you. If you're not a fan of what you witnessed tonight, heaven freaking help you. These boys tore each other up, man. Kenny, Vikingo, pulled the doggone table out. Vikingo then dang that jump, flipped over. That man went flying through the table. Listen, man. I cannot hate on neither one of these cats. This was fantastic. Outstanding main event. I said, Tony, sign this dude. Sign him immediately. Get him under contract immediately. This dude is great. This dude is good, man. And Kenny, singles competition. People talk about Kenny. Listen, let me tell you something. Kenny basically just told you why he should be number one contender. Based off of that match he just had, I definitely would not mind seeing Kenny and MJF running. Not sure exactly when they're going to run it, but I would absolutely love to see Kenny Omega and MJF running. As a matter of fact, if Kenny is great, if Kenny is good, when I say great, I'm talking about his body's still up to par. Come Grand Slam, I'm doing Kenny Omega versus MJF at Grand Slam. Book it. That's when I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Kenny Omega versus MJF at Grand Slam. We right in the New York area, right down the street. Matter of fact, we getting ready to head out after we go to St. Louis the following week, April 5th. We're going back to MJF's household. Um, listen, matchup was great. Kenny gets the victory. He wins. Soon as the match was done, he hugged that young man. He gave him a high five. He shook his hand. He did all that. Basically, put the man over. All that. So, as he's standing with Don, you hear an ambulance truck go off. Oh, no. Take that back. So, no. I'm jumping the gun. Forgive me. Kenny standing up. Don is in the ring with him. Then you see the BCC come running out, and the BCC attacked him. So now everybody's automatically going to the BCC is responsible for the Young Bucks going to the hospital. They are destroying Kenny. I mean, they beating the bricks off him, tearing him up. Then you hear ambulance. So the cameras cut to what's going on outside. You see an ambulance coming up. And as it looks like it's Heyman on the doggone ambulance. So we're paying attention. We're revamping what took place from the beginning of the show, concluding it to what goes on at the end. He comes in. Music goes off. He runs those clowns off, right? Takes those clowns out. They run out. He has some kind of black looking thing with two little nails hanging out of it, right? He run them off. Crowd is going nuts. Cowboy poop. So he gets in there and he looks like he's ready to go check on Kenny. Well, Don is looking like he's ready to get whacked by the man. He said, look, man, I ain't trying to do that, right? So he paying attention to BCC while looking at Don. So as he turns his attention to the BCC, Don just falls back like he got whacked. And Kenny wakes up and Kenny looks like, oh man. And it's like, oh no. I say down the clown up to no good. And Kenny is thinking that Hangman attacked him. And I'm like, Don is doing everything in his power to keep Kenny and Hangman from reuniting. And I'm like, oh man. I said, Don the clown up to his antics again. And Kenny like, no. Because he think he whacked him. And he said, no, man. He said, come on now. Are you going to believe this dude over me? And ladies and gentlemen, that's how we go off the air. I said storytelling. I say cliffhanger. Mr. BC Amplified. I hope Tony Khan answered your question. You've been asking for him to do something like this. Leave us on a cliffhanger. That's exactly what he did. He left us on a freaking cliffhanger. And I say that's wrestling 101. Get us ready to come back. You like, I got to come back next week. I got to come back. I had to come back. He tied Rampage and Dynamite together. Rampage is important. It's coming on Saturday night. You can't wait for the next week of Dynamite. I say, Tony, this is what we want. This is exactly what I say, man. Listen. This is why I want wrestling as a whole to be great. I want WWE to continue to do what they do, but get better. Get me to give a crap about what you're doing. Tony Khan is finally waking up because we've been on his helmet for a long time. This fool is waking up. We don't even know what the card is going to be at Forbidden Door 2, and that place already sold out. You got Super Card of Honor coming up. I got to get carried away and try to figure out how I'm going to get caught up to par on all that stuff. And now we got storylines building out the par on everything concerning AEW television. I said, this is what we want. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. I walked away. I told you what I didn't like about tonight's episode is the doggone picture by picture. I didn't like my boy Stu losing. I didn't like my girl Blue Sky losing. And we needed some explanation about where the heck was House of Black. Outside of that, I thought tonight was great. I thought they did a great job. Hey, that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the comment section up. If you thought tonight's episode was great, hit the comment section up. If you didn't, tell me why. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll talk to y'all cats later. This is your boy Casey King Stuff for Life Wrestling Takes. I'm gone.